So Clarissa is a comedian and Amy is a comedian. And I brought you on, Clarissa, because I was thinking, it'd be interesting to talk about how within the comedy scene, and this is like I guess historical as well as like there's one of the elements I notice with comedians is depression, and if you learn about a lot of comedians, Robin Williams, Richard Pryor, I don't know George Carlin, but various other comedians. Patton Oswalt talks
Sam
about it.
Kinison.
Sam Kinison, maybe. Mark Maron's always he's talked
Yeah.
about it. You know, it's they're open about it. And who was it? Richard Lewis used to joke about his shrink all the time. So it's like a
He had a
common factor.
huge influence on me. Like
Yeah.
he always wore all black. He
Right.
always was cynical. He was always
Hmm.
complaining, and
Hmm.
but he made it so funny that
Right.
you didn't care.
Right. So
That's a good trick.
right. So and Clarissa, I brought you on because you mentioned before that you deal with depression, correct? Or
Yeah, yeah. No, I'm on my psych meds and everything like that too. And it's like it's weird because everything's going really well for me. I'm fairly successful. But for some reason, some days I can't get out of bed. I'm not motivated to do anything, and I even have like suicidal thoughts, and it's insane. But when I get past it, I'll just feel like, yeah,
right.
Sometimes we don't know why. And that's the whole thing is it can get really tricky because I was thinking about it the other day because our brains were natural pattern makers. Like that's actually what helped us survive past like say even the Neanderthals maybe. But because we have this ability to do that, our brain wants to fill in anything that isn't given to us. And so, like, I was thinking the other day about when we were talking about how sometimes I would feel like that, and it was really my blood sugar was just low, right?
yeah,
So, my brain isn't getting enough glucose because I wasn't eating right, and it put me in a state of wanting to put myself in the river. So, what's funny is there was nothing bad going on that day, but my mind will figure something out, right? So it
yeah,
starts digging through my past, remembering bad things, and then that becomes its own spiral where you think about one bad thing, and then the next thing you know, you're back to your childhood and you're just in the total dumps. And I think it happens differently for every person because every person's experience is different. And we're all different too. Our DNA is different, and we're a very weird creature because we are so closely related to each other in reality when it comes to like DNA. And as a matter of fact, we are also close to bananas, believe it or not. But
Hmm.
um
exactly.
so yeah, but at the same time we are completely different. And I think that is a huge part of why humanity struggles so much. And that all the things we're dealing with, all I'm trying to say, Clarissa, is you don't always have to have a reason for those feelings. And when you get them, I have learned to say, okay, wait, is this based in anything real? Or is this just my mind playing tricks on me because I have a negative things in my history or even in my current environment that might be affecting me? Sometimes we don't even know. Sometimes it's even subconscious and we don't know. So anytime you feel like that, I think we tend to blame ourselves. We say, oh, I'm just a weak person. I'm just whatever. It's not true. It's just we got to get the brain working on the right things. And that's why medication helps because it does kind of help relieve those loops, those negative, deep. It's like a psychological loop. Your brain gets stuck in it and it can't get itself out.
Right.
And so the medications like physically go in there and reroute your transmitters. And so then you're like, oh, and it takes a while before the medication fully sets in. But Yeah, you do eventually start feeling better and better, and then you kind of get out of the fog a little bit.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, well, it's
I
strange
feel
'cause
you.
today is one of those days for me. Like, I just did a great comedy show last night, and this morning I woke up and I just wasn't motivated to get out of bed. And it's like, I was like, I got this thing today. I gotta drag myself out. I gotta make this
I'm
thing.
so glad you did. I'm so
Yeah.
glad you did because I'm glad to meet you. And you know what's funny is comedy is its own thing because comedy is especially difficult because when you're on a stage and you are 100% being yourself and you are expressing that much love for people, because that's really what it kind of is you're kind of like, I'm sacrificing myself on the altar of love for you. And I know
Wow.
that sounds like really over
It's true.
dramatic, but it's kind of true though.
And
And you expend so much and you get a lot back. When you get those laughs back, you're getting like a shit ton of love back. And you love it and it's like a high, and then but the next day you can definitely crash because there's then it's just silent, right?
yeah, yeah, well, I definitely get like overstimulated after getting on stage. Sometimes like I'll go sit down somewhere, and then people will be like, fans want to come meet me, and like
Yes,
can't even decompress
I know.
to be coherent, and then I come off
I'm
as
the same way. I'm the same way. And you know what? You have to take care of yourself first. And we always want to give more to the fans because, of course, we love them. That's the whole reason we're doing this, right? And so, but you really do have, because I understand that feeling of you just get overwhelmed when you have all these people coming at you and they're, of course, happy and smiling, but there's a difference being on the stage and getting that love and being like directly in person and getting that love. And sometimes it's not always even love. Sometimes it's just, I don't know, because I've also had times where like I really killed at a show and I found out there were people from my high school there. And I did not have a good time in high school. And I was not popular. I was hardly ever there. And so then I get there and I all these people from my old high school, all of a sudden I'm cool, right?
So it
20 years
triggers,
later.
right? It triggers old feelings, maybe, of that
Well, I don't
same
know.
bullshit.
It just feels kind of like you feel othered.
Right.
Because like they'll come up to you and they'll be like, "Well, we want to take a picture with you, and we think you're cool, but we don't actually want to talk to you."
Right.
Like they would talk around me like I was
Yeah.
like a zoo exhibit,
Like a thing. Yeah. Yeah.
you know? So those things also happen. So those can be really draining too.
and another side note for the Hollywood fans, um, like my type of comedy is I make myself the butt of the joke um, because I want to create that middle ground again that people can talk about trans issues without being offended. You know,
Yeah.
it's like for me personally, I recognize myself as being male, you know, but I've grown into a young woman, you know, and and that's okay, and I'm not ashamed of like where I come from, you know, and like I feel like a lot of the trans community is ashamed of who they are, and so there's a lot of trauma around that, and so when people are critiquing them because humans make mistakes, they get defensive, and then they laugh out, and then the other side's like, well, these people are crazy, and then they shut it down, you know. So it's like we got to
Yeah.
bring it like full circle. So it's like I make jokes, that are like,
I like that. And you know
and then
what?
like,
It's really, really brave to put yourself out like that, especially in a time like this where there's so much I call it hyper emotionality around these subjects, and it's all there's outside forces that are pushing things into it, trying to make it harder. But when I see, and I hope this is okay, but when I see a person that has gone through a transition, I see the ultimate alchemist. Okay, and that comes from the Gnostic teachings, which is that when you can integrate your male and female into one, you have essentially become a complete being, right? And so that is kind of the way I look at those things. And I think that people should be treated better and not demonized. Just because you don't understand something doesn't mean you should be afraid of it. And that tends to be the default setting for people. And I
That's
think that
human
causes a lot of
instinct.
problems.
It sucks,
Yeah.
but that's like a
Something's
human instinct.
different, they don't
Right. Oh my God.
understand. So,
I don't know how
and
to
that
deal
is,
with this.
that really is evolution.
Right.
And I honestly believe that most of the transphobia people suffer is purely ignorance. There's,
Right.
I think there's rarely genuine evil people that are setting their eyes up like, we don't like shutting us down.
Right.
But at the same time, I think like it's really that idea because it's like, you know, when it becomes political and people are like, and then they come up with these crazy ideas and stuff, and then states are creating these laws where you have to use the
Right.
and like, but then they're putting more masculinity back into the women's restroom because they're forcing trans men to
Right.
use the women's restroom, and then they look like very
Right.
easily, you know.
Right.
And it's
Oh, I
like,
never thought about it like that. Yeah.
yeah, and then it's just like so, like, wait a minute, guys, like. You guys are saying that
I
the
actually have an
trans men to
answer
be in
for the
there, but now you
problem.
want the trans men to be in there. Like Buck Angel.
Yeah,
It's like, I
right?
guarantee you there will be way more women uncomfortable with that than me, And then,
I can see it.
so, but
Yeah.
like, I went to a Lucy Darling show when she was in Denver. I think it was one of the first times she was in Denver, or since she got big. Um, and a lot of her crew had like family there, so it was full of her family. But she did a talk back at the beginning of the show, then the show, and then a meet and greet after the show. I didn't get the tickets in time to do the meet and greet, but I got to do the talk back, which was you'd
What?
be able to ask her questions that
Oh, okay.
her character Lucy Darling couldn't answer because she's in character. And the meet and greet
Right.
was about meeting Lucy Darling, because that's who everyone's here to see. But
Oh, okay.
Carissa Hendricks is the actress that puts on the show as Lucy, and when she's in character, you can't get a hold of Carissa,
Right.
you know. So it's like, so she did the talk back. So before she gets ready for the show, she comes out and she just answers some questions about like the process of her putting on the show. And I asked her, I was like, "Hey, I'm a brand new comedian. I'm just starting to get out here. Like, what's your advice for me? You know, like what could you tell me that would you know like help me?" And then her question was, "Well, what kind of comedy are you doing?" And I said, "Self-deprecation. Like I make fun of myself." And then she was like, "Just make sure that every joke comes from a place that genuinely hurts you in the heart, and you'll do just
Mm,
fine."
interesting.
And then ever since then,
Hmm.
I've dug into the deep, dark corners of my mind and came up with the craziest jokes that just have landed
That's
greatest.
that's the
See that?
Richard
That's
Pryor.
alchemy.
That's Richard Pryor's style. Is you just the most
Yeah.
vulnerable shit, and then you put it out there, and then it, and then it, and then it
And it's like
lessens
the next time she's
the
in Denver, I'm going to
pain.
her show, and I'm gonna be
Yeah.
like, "Look, I'm producing
Right.
shows in Denver.
Nice.
I got an open mic this Thursday that I'm hosting, and I think I'm gonna have a pretty good turnout. The first one, there was only like 3 of us that showed up, but like nobody knew about it. It takes time, word of
Right.
mouth, to get around, and so.
Exactly.
Man,
But
I wish I was in Denver. I lived there for like 2 years. And I just now moved to Phoenix. But the comedy scene there is booming.
and I just got in contact with Joe Ellis. She's the
Oh,
trans woman
okay.
that get kicked out of
Yeah.
the military for being trans, and she was the Black
Huh.
Hawk pilot.
Huh.
And
Holy
she
shit. I
did
didn't hear about
comedy
that.
and she was actually on Kill Tony, and she told some jokes, and now
That's
she's got her own late
crazy.
night show.
That's
All
fucking
right.
that takes a lot of balls. Like just to
That's
go and
cool.
kill Tony, that's like a rough it's a rough scene, especially if you're trans.
Yeah.
That's not actually true.
No?
Kill Tony is actually given a lot of uh, opportunity to trans
Yeah.
comedians. And even Joe Ellis
Wow.
touched on that when he was there, is that his show is the number one place that's given opportunity to trans comedians, because the reality is it's randomized. Joe Rogan has like
Yeah.
a very, like, people are kind of like in the trans community afraid of him. But I would actually love to like meet the guy. I don't think he's as like
Who knows?
I don't
Maybe
think
you
he's as
will.
Mm.
transphobic as people make him out to be. And
No, I
He
don't think
in
so
some of his
either.
podcasts, he mentions one of his friends is married to a trans woman, and
right. I guess the thing is, it's like he might just do it for show or whatever, but he has in the past
he's trying to
made
make
some
a living.
pretty
He's trying to take care of his family, and
right.
he's got this
So
persona that he put on. So there's a level of
right,
that. But I genuinely think
And once you make
Joe
the
Rogan's like a
decision,
great human being.
hmm.
well, yeah, but the thing is once you make a certain decision, and that decision then is going to affect everything else. So, like, the Spotify deal was a big thing for him, and that's really when he started to change. If you actually look at his
Right,
whole podcast career. And so I think that there are things that he's dealing with that he doesn't really talk about behind the scenes that are affecting the things that he says sometimes or doesn't say. But
So
that's just my opinion. I think once you get to a certain level of attention, there's always going to be an outside interest who's going to want to dig their little fingers in there, and that's
right,
what they always do. But anyway, go ahead.
yeah.
I'm gonna say, because I'm Clarissa White, I've been wanting to do a parody skit calling myself Claire White and do like a parody on Blair White. But
Oh.
like it's early stages, because it's like I don't agree with everything these people say, but I'm not
No.
totally like against it either. I think there's some good that
Yeah.
Blair White's done, but I also think there's some bad,
Yeah.
and I just haven't like totally worked out
Yeah.
where I want to
What?
basically do
Who's
a Claire
who
White
is
When
that?
impression.
she, when she started pushing aliens, I was like, I'm out. I
Who's
was like,
Blair? Who is
that's
that?
it. I was like, you're done, bitch.
I think that was more to appeal to her Republican like
Well,
crazy subreddit
yeah,
to make money.
I know, but it's like,
Like
really, come on.
but it's I mean, I kind of believe in aliens. I just
Do
don't know that I
you?
really
Oh, I
believe in
do.
like little gray people. Okay, like I think
I
Okay.
do.
honestly,
Why
like,
not?
there's no way that we're the only life form in this universe, as vast as it
I
is.
agree.
Like,
I
you know,
agree.
so in a sense that there's aliens out there, which will probably become, if were little gray people, would become an offensive term. Like, I could only
I
imagine
mean,
what, like,
there. I believe there is. My wife. She was with my mother-in-law, and they saw something, and
Yeah,
the
I mean, I've
town
seen things.
the town
I
I
mean, and
lived
I
in.
have a lot of people that have seen things. I had an uncle that saw a UFO.
Right, I had an
But
uncle
that
too
doesn't
in Canada.
necessarily mean that it's, like you say, the little gray aliens. I
I
mean,
just
I
look at it
think
like they
that
don't
there's a
care.
lot, the aliens, like,
Yeah,
why
like
would
I
they?
don't
Like Frank
like.
Zappa used
Why
to
would they?
say,
They. It's like
he
visiting
said if
somewhere, and
aliens actually came and saw us, they would probably hightail it out of here
right,
because they
like
think
they
we're
fucked up this
nuts.
planet. Well, what the fuck are we gonna get out of here? They might, try
I
to
mean,
attack
we do
us.
not, and I think that you're right. And I think that, I mean, I don't necessarily call anything a specific name. I always just say higher intelligence because I don't
Hmm.
know what it is.
Right.
But I do agree. And as I have a bit in my act, I say, all I know is there's something smarter than me. That's all I know.
yeah.
And so there to have certainty about anything is not always the smartest thing to do because then if your mind gets closed, then you don't have any more information coming in. And I think you put yourself in danger when you do that. As a person who's come from a high control group, I am very into open minds and into not following any specific belief system because I think it traps you, you know. But that's not what you're talking about, you know. But
No, I
I
just
just
think
think
like
about how often those alien things get used against people. And as a Native American person who has seen many New Age people use and abuse Native Americans to push this
Right.
UFO idea, when a lot of the Native American people did not believe in star people that way. They did not believe they were from another planet. They believed they were human beings. And so that is a lot of myth making that has gone on in the New Age community that has actually hurt the Native American community. And so that's why when it comes to those kinds of things, I tend to be a little bit more skeptical. And then when you know some of the white supremacist roots of these alien theories, if you go back far enough, it all goes back to white people are actually aliens from another planet, and that's why they've been superior, is because they are not actually human beings, they're gods.
Hmm.
So
Well,
when you go
yeah.
back far enough, I mean, because I've been down every rabbit hole, man.
I
And so I'm
Well,
just saying that
The
you
Nazis,
have to watch out for that.
right? The Nazis were working on like a ship that would look like a flying saucer on top of it.
Yeah, and I
Um,
mean, they
yeah.
did a documentary called Mirage Men, and it basically shows you everybody point blank range that all the UFO stuff was a government psyop to detract people from the actual military things they were doing, like stealth flyers and other kinds
Mm,
of bombings and stuff. So
right.
if they proved it. If people really want to know, they can look at Mirage Men and they can find out that, I mean, not that there couldn't possibly be real aliens, but what I'm saying, the lore that we have been taught as Americans was
Right.
based in government propaganda.
Right.
probably a distraction. Yeah.
Yeah. So depression.
Yeah, but that's the
So
whole thing. Is
yeah.
when I think about everything, I think about it in such big terms, like,
Sure.
and so it's hard for me. You gotta kind of rein me back in sometimes.
Yeah. I'm the same way. But that's
Yeah.
great, Clarissa. That's great to point out. It's like, um, even if you have success, your brain is still
Working
like
against me.
working against it, and your
Yeah.
worst enemy, the
You're
guy who's
smiling right now, though.
Yeah, yeah.
I
right,
think
No,
I think you
the
look.
conversation should be.
Do you
right,
think it's picking you up a little? And
right,
that's the whole thing about. That's why talking to people and therapy is so
right.
great, because what happens, I believe, is once you actually formulate the words and they come out, whether you
You
cry or
can
you
hear it.
yell or you
Hmm.
speak it, you're actually getting the energy of
Hmm.
said emotion out of your body. It's like emotional barfing.
Right.
And so I every time you barf, you don't want to do it, but you do feel better after.
Right.
Well,
And so
the thing that really helps me um, when I'm feeling that way is like I try to picture something like absolutely kind of absurd, kind of thing. I would love to like see someone like my comedy bring that middle ground where someone like Blair White could have a conversation with someone far left and be like, and not be like laughing at each other, you know,
yeah,
and just and I picture a
it's a
world like that.
respect thing.
That's what I'm looking for, to create. And it's like so when I set
I love
my
that.
because it's like if you like live in a negative fantasy almost, or if you have PTSD, you live in a like a past like location. So I tried to envision a better future and try to live in that moment instead.
I like that. And you know what? Visualization is a really good part of therapy. And so I think that's really cool. And you can do it, like I've had moments where I was under like extreme stress, like I'm about to die stress. And sometimes your brain will do that on its own.
Mm.
It's like, I'm out. That's called dissociation.
Right.
But if you have the ability also, you have that mental capacity to do it yourself, that's even better. I think you may have a more special brain than you realize. But that's just a thing that I'm weird, and I'm not going to go all into it right now, but
I
I don't know.
definitely like, so I was homeschooled. I was in a religious household, and their church basically told them what books to teach me from. And very early on, they tried to teach me that dinosaurs weren't real. And
Right.
it's like, I think a lot of my mental problems have come from being highly intelligent, but like undereducated. And I've been
Right.
trying
Yeah.
to close that gap, but I feel like I've been so far behind on it. And it's just like there's new information coming out these days. So it's like, and yeah,
It's very time consuming. I mean, I have dedicated the greater part of the last 40 years of my life to that. And I was sort of forced into it because of my disability. And when you don't have the ability to go out into the world and discover it, you get stuck reading books and websites and movies. And so I just spent a lot of time doing that, and most people don't have that time. So
I mean,
that's why, like, for a person like you can bring your wisdom that you've collected as yourself, and doing it through comedy is so alchemical. That's like the beautiful thing is you're turning it into gold, right? That's the real meaning of that expression, turning lead into gold. And
yeah,
so you're taking something really negative or whatever. But I like the fact that you are so I'm trying to think of a good word to describe how I'm seeing you right now.
yeah.
Yes, you're very grounded and you unflappable might be a word that I would use, which is you can just take it as it comes without getting upset and just that's kind of a rare skill to have,
It's
you know?
taken years of therapy to get there. Because I used to be super sensitive. It's hindsight that I see everyone else struggling with problems when I was struggling with as a trans person. Because it's like there was a point in time I had three different therapists for like 2 years, and I was seeing them each once a week. So that was 3 days out of seven that I was in
Wow.
therapy for an
Huh. And just to work on
I've done that. I actually was in a
different
program
issues.
that was I was doing 3 days a week, 4 hours a day. And I
hour.
did that for 6 weeks.
I used to wish
And they
that
put me in like a program, you
uh,
know.
it, it cut out there. I didn't realize you were speaking. Didn't mean to speak over
Oh
you.
no, no, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I wish I could put that on my resume, and it looks like
Yeah.
I've done 2 years of therapy like that because it's like it taught me human skills that come across. I mean, I could want to put it in there like, yeah, I did therapy for 2 years, you know, it's
Yeah.
invested, kind of thing. But like the way you got to
You know
put
you
that is
could.
like with people skills.
Right.
Yeah, you could put it under that like through learning different tools I have learned how to have better inner
Right.
office actions or
How do you
something like
apply
that.
it? How do
It's
you
pretty
apply
cool
it to
though.
your job or whatever
Therapy
you're
is so
doing?
beneficial if you allow yourself to just do it. And
If you
it's
get
really
the
hard
right
to do it
therapist,
sometimes
yeah.
because it's really hard because it hurts. And you
Yeah.
do have to do a lot of physical or emotional barfing, occasionally physical barfing. But
Afraid, I'm not afraid to have people come at me either. Um,
good.
like my my older sibling came out as trans years after I transitioned,
Oh
and
wow.
Wow.
accuses me of being transphobic because they're super early on and they're super sensitive about
Uh
their transition, and I say things sometimes that might be a little too harsh for them to hear in the reality.
Okay.
And so,
so they
Isn't
have
that
to
something? Because
develop
everything
the
is like a
well,
gradient.
they have to develop
Excuse me.
the what is it, scar tissue or something to be able to learn how to deal with it,
Like that
right?
tough skin
Like
thing.
a skin. So, because that's you can't. You have to in
again,
reality. It's you're
think
gonna.
there's just a lot of trans people that are ashamed that they were male. And I think that there's a
Right.
little bit of religious context that's brought that in, you know. But I also
Right.
think that there's a little bit of patriarchy aspect to it because it's
True.
like, like men have treated women differently their entire life. When I
Right.
see my interactions with my father and my siblings, it's like, because there's like almost like a male pride on how we take care of our women for some men,
Right.
kind of thing. And so when someone like me comes out as trans, it's hard on people that have treated me like a guy because in their head they're thinking that's wrong. And so then
Yeah.
you're forcing them
Oh,
to deal with
Anthony.
that belief. And I
Mhm.
like that's an
Right.
aspect I don't think people realize is even there. Like you never hear any of
That's
like
so interesting.
because it's like
Mhm.
men are taught to take care of women. And,
Mhm.
like, and so it's like so fascinating to me because it's like I don't think chivalry's dead. Okay, I think the reason men. Well, hold on, hear me out then. Hear me out. I just think men forgot how to do it because it's not about
Yeah.
doing something for women because they can't do it per se, because they're incapable. But it's always been about helping them do something. Because like I
Mhm.
think the original reason we held doors for women was because they wore those poofy dresses and they
Right.
couldn't reach the door, so we had to open it for them, and
Like
that's
a
where that
practical
comes
reason.
from. And
Right.
then like, well, now women
I love that.
that part of the world's
Yeah.
changed. So it's
Right.
like, so
Now we
holding a
just have
door for a woman
booties.
isn't
And now our
chivalrous
booties
anymore.
just make
So
it
what are
so we can't
women
reach the door.
so my
Right.
whole thought is,
Um.
what are women dealing with that men should be looking at helping them with in
And
today's world?
you're pointing out. So it's like you're transitioning, and now if you're transitioning to be a woman, now you're gonna take on female issues or women issues, and so it's like you're
Yeah,
going from
for
one
sure.
situation to a new situation, and then it's like, well, how do your parents deal with it, or fam or whatever, and
Yeah,
and so yeah, I that's interesting.
that is interesting.
I never thought about that.
It really made me think about the way I'm working on this one bit about grayscale or gray. Like, we always think everything is black and white because that's the culture that we're born into, right? But we don't really live in a black and white world. The world is very gray. And so they forced us into these reality tunnels, these black and white reality tunnels. That's what
Mhm.
I'm trying to help people. And what you just said would be brilliant because you were talking, and it's such a tiny, specific thing. You could really turn that into something, I think, as a bit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a joke right there. You could be
when I
like,
get
so I.
smarter about writing my bits, because I actually do, I'm starting to do more writing, but I've done a lot less writing because all of my all of my um, jokes have come from like me thinking about, well, this hurt me, okay? And I know that someone else will find that funny. And so I'll go to an open mic thinking about that pain and then kind of tell the story and listen for where someone chuckles a little bit. And then I like take note of it and then
That's the one. You got one.
top it. And I'm like, okay, there's something there. And then I think about why that's funny, for
You
them
only
starting
need
to
one.
listen. Yeah.
You only need one laugh. That's what I say. And I also tell like my little comedy friends that they'll do a really funny bit and then they'll toss it. And I'm like, why? And they well, nobody laughed. And I
Oh,
said, yeah, but
why?
they laughed last week. I'm
Right.
like, you should really do it 10 times, I think, before you
And
really know whether it's a working bit or not. But
and
they just didn't want
every
to do
audience is
it.
isn't every audience different though too. So and if it's a
Oh, for
vibe,
sure.
and so
Yeah. And
may not work at
because of how
first,
I
but
am, I don't see well and I don't hear well. So I have to literally depend on my vibratory receptors of emotion in order to be in the show, period. Because I am actually not always able to know exactly who's laughing and not. And I just am always like, well, if they're not ripping me off the stage, I'm okay.
right.
And I think, I was just thinking about this back on the question, you know, when I'm doing my jokes, I spend a lot of time in that negative energy in my own self, and that could be why, I told these dark jokes. I've been working on some like lighter hearted jokes because I started telling jokes about J.K. Rowling, like because what happened was I filled my first joke book up,
Oh wow.
and so I was in Barnes and Noble looking for a new one, and I found Tom Riddle, a replica of Tom Riddle's styling. And so
Oh
now
wow.
I tell a joke that I'm like, what a better way to get like a turf number one than to write a tranny joke in um, in Lord Voldemort's diary.
Wow.
I like that. It was a
It's like,
sign, you see? It was a sign. You're on the right track.
and then like right after I go into that, I thought of this on the spot, and I'm like, I want to go back to a time when um, when I enjoyed Harry Potter and had no idea who J.K. Rowling even was.
Right.
Right?
I mean,
Doesn't that suck? It's
it's
like
such a
to
big
have something
franchise,
so
though.
major.
It's
Oh,
such a
go
big
ahead.
franchise. It's such a big franchise that you can I think you can separate. It's like a music act or an entertainer who's part of a film or a TV show. Like you can separate because it takes the movies and all that are like they've taken on their own thing, and even the cast
Yeah.
and have rebelled against her, and and because it's like it's not fair that the creator has shit on, because if I wanted to, I could dump Marvel for all their shit, but I love Marvel and it's such a big thing that it's like, okay, just because one turd,
Yeah.
doesn't is gonna fuck it up. So I get that. I mean, and it
I
sucks
do
that it has
too.
to be like that, now, or
But
that it's like
people are
that.
imperfect, and I think about like my life, and I'm like, if I ever became a famous comic, and people look back on my life, and they pulled up a bunch of shitty things that I did, and then tried to judge
Mm-hmm.
me based on that,
Mm-hmm.
and then they said that my comedy was no good
Mm-hmm.
because I made some mistakes as a human being. I think that's a little fucked up. I mean, I'm a huge fan of Jack Sparrow, right? Like he's one of my heroes. But Johnny Depp's a fucking asshole. So
Right.
I love that.
can I do that? Can I like separate them? Yeah, I can. So, but I don't know.
You can,
Maybe it's
well,
different for
but
everybody.
even also um, like to that point, like you said, that it would be unfair for people to judge your comedy based on your person because your art isn't you necessarily, you know. And I apply that same kind of logic to J.K. Rowling in a sense because I'm like, yeah, we don't agree, but damn, I had a hell of a good life because of those books you wrote, and I can be like
Yeah.
thankful for that and even forgive her for some of her, because she's probably battling her own demons, her own life, her own problems, and she's dealing with them in the way the best she can, you know? And I'm like,
I
I
love
mean,
that attitude.
healthcare kind of sucks these days, but
You have the
Yeah.
right attitude, and you know what? I think that's going to make you successful because I know I have like a mentor guy. His name's Barry Katz. He's like kind of famous, but he always says, um, if you can maintain that authenticity and lovability, you have kind of a lovability about you. And so try to, as you're working on really harsh jokes, as you're expressing them, make sure you're getting a lot of the love out because I think that that's going to come across as I'm not here to offend anybody because I'm the same way. I'm not out to offend anybody. I'm trying to bring people in. And so I am kind of the opposite of a lot of the shit that's happening right now, but that's okay. I mean, we'll see if I can actually do it. I have a show Wednesday. I finally got on the show at Stir Crazy, so I'm really excited.
nice,
Nice.
congratulations.
Thank you. It does help with the depression. Sometimes just even talking about the depression can make you feel better. Because yesterday I
Right.
was not happy. I was like, fuck this world, fuck
Right.
everyone.
Well, something
And
also crazy about the comedy scene out here in Colorado, it's like all the main, sorry to interrupt, but all the main
Yeah.
comedians that are doing it for a while, they're really good at what they do. They kind of turn a cold shoulder at you. And so you,
yeah,
like, earn their respect on the stage.
Interesting.
But
Yeah.
just here, because I've really only been doing comedy in the Denver and Northern Colorado area, there's a few like nice people that have given me a great opportunity. I'd give a shout out to Jared Chandler. He helped fund and produce my first show because I got invited
Nice.
to like I applied to be in a Taste the Rainbow festival, and then and I don't I didn't have quality video, so I understand not wanting to take that, kind of thing, because it's like very good video to demonstrate my skills, and um, and so I understand being denied no feelings about script. I'm going to do my own because I know I can, you know. And then I reached out to the one producer and comedian I knew, Jared Chandler, and he gave me a budget to hire comedians,
Nice.
and I even got Ren Hudar to headline the first ever
Oh, good.
LGBT comedy show, and I'm going to turn it into a yearly annual um, pride show. So if I'm still in Colorado, it'll be
I love that.
next year. I'm
I want
planning
to
like
come.
next year. I'm planning to like have do the festival thing where people give me the $20 for an opportunity to get in, and I use that to put on a good show.
Oh,
So I'm planning
cool.
yeah, next year.
Wow, so you got all kinds of stuff on the horizon.
Oh, yeah, yeah. No,
I've never been given my own show. That's huge.
I'm opening my own comedy club in a year.
You
Like,
awesome.
I think I could do it. And I was originally, when I started doing comedy, my New Year's resolution was I'm going to be touring by the end of the year. But
Wow, nice.
she's an older lady, having health problems, and she probably can't handle the travel, and she doesn't want me to be gone all the time. So I've readjusted my goal, and I'm planning to open my own comedy. And I even created a page for it. It's Comedy Monolith. And um, I'm thinking love language is the place for it. But like, it depends on some other background stuff, like what part of Colorado.
Yeah, yeah. I want to do that too, but I don't know. It's going to be a really long time. I have this really crazy dream of, okay, I don't know if I should say this because I don't want anybody to steal my idea, but I want to name my comedy club the Bomb Shelter. And then I want to have on the back of it literal shelters that so we got homeless shelters, LGBTQ shelters, shelters for animals, like anybody that needs a place to stay that's hurting right now. I don't even give a shit if you are high, come on in, we will take care
There's
of you. And
yeah.
so I have this idea of, then you have all these fundraising shows at the club that directly benefit the shelters. So that's like my long-term dream.
You
So I totally get what you're
you could
saying.
probably there's a guy.
Shelter.
The bomb shelter. Yeah. And I want to put it in like an old army tent.
Let's go.
There's a there's a
No bombing here. No bombing here.
there's a guy in New York who actually builds portable like
Oh.
mobile like units with a functional like I want to say it's like a kitchenette. There's a bed and just base for homeless people. And
Yep.
so there's all these there's different ways to you can include
I'm
um, you know
planning,
Yeah.
I'm planning to do a wee fund, I think. I'm doing different tiers. So I've got a tier specifically for the comedians to invest $50 to 100, and then their name gets engraved, painted in the green ring.
Oh, cool. I
oh
would do
yeah.
that.
Yeah,
I want to come.
it's gonna be
We
cool.
have
And
to
then
share information so I can
I'm
follow
I'm
you and watch what you're
I'm
doing.
probably going to rent a space first, but because I'm calling it Comedy Monolith, I'm probably
I
going
love
to
that.
buy my own location, and I'll invest in an art piece of a monolith in the middle of the
I
lobby.
was going to
All
say
the
that would
names
be
in
so
the green
cool.
room, the original investors will get moved to that monolith, and they'll be engraved in the Comedy Monolith forever.
Nice.
Are you gonna
Do
kind of
you?
make it look like the Georgia Guidestones?
I know what this look like, but my logo is the Colorado mountainscape with a tree line and then a monolith towering over it.
Oh, that's very cool. I love that. Very
Exactly,
cool.
because it's gonna be bigger than the mountains here. And then because it's brand new, instead of established in 2026, I put established 5280 in the logo, which is a mile
Nice.
high.
Nice. Yeah, you could
A lot of Colorados get that.
you could
Cool.
have you taken notes? Like have you like written up a business plan or
I'm sorry, you cut out. I
Who?
didn't catch that.
oh sorry. I was saying you could you could do a business plan. Like write up some, like a rough draft
Oh yeah,
and
yeah. I've got a business
hell yeah.
plan going. I'm
Hell yeah.
My spouse is military, and I found out as a spouse to a veteran, I actually qualify for a special loan that will allow me to
Oh,
open a small
nice.
business. So
Nice. They
I think I'm
recognize
in
and
a
it's
pretty good
good.
spot to do
Good.
this in like a year.
I
But
love it. I
Good.
love it.
I'll need a little help. Like I could do a Kickstarter and kind of do the same tier thing. You know, I just haven't like figured out all the finer details yet. Man, I could do a
Nice.
Kickstarter to get the initial down payment for that loan, basically. Like
Right.
you
Nice.
know, and then all the comedians from there.
Oh no.
Oh, she disappeared.
Yeah. This always happens.
Come back.
It could be where she's located, like the signal.
It looks like she's still, her little red light is still on. What does that
Right.
mean?
I don't know.
Oh, Clarissa, come back.
There we
Oh,
go.
oh, there she is.
Oh,
Oh, there she. Oh, there she is.
I'm not sure what happened.
Yeah, you were gone. You were like, oh no.
Appointment at 3:15. I gotta get to.
okay. We could probably end it here then. Clarissa, thank you so much for coming on and bringing a lot of insight and being, and talking about yourself.
Give
Yeah.
me my information. As always, everyone can follow me at Clarissa White 101 on Instagram and TikTok.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. That's a good ending. This is good. Yeah. I feel old because I don't know some of the people that you guys were talking about, so it's all good. Um, well, this is good. Amy, I think we're on the right track. Just I guess we should make maybe Mondays. Sure. Right. Cool. Yeah, any information, is I think is good and no, that's good. That's always good. Well, cool, Amy. You have a good day. Love you lots and enjoy your day. Okay.